So you make your decision, you're ready to get going. What are some things you thought about or did to ensure that once TaskRay was up and running, it was really successful?
We sat down and mapped out really what we wanted the process to look like. And so when we did our trial with TaskRay, we built it out as though this was going to be it, to make sure that it really fit and to make sure that it really would work with everything that we wanted to do. So we built templates during our trial to try them out. We had our team specifically, because we're in it probably the most, adopt it. And we did a little dual work for a while just to make sure that it would work in that process. And I think through there, we knew that we had the right solution.
We met and talked about it constantly as we were rolling it out. It was the kind of thing where, it became such a part of our daily conversation, and we evaluated everything that we were doing by implementing TaskRay and looked at all of our processes and said, do we still need this part? Should we take this part? Is this really how long it takes? And it sort of forced us to really evaluate the entire scope of work from contract signature to client delivery in a way that I don't think we would have without implementing TaskRay, because again, it was linked into Salesforce. So literally every step of the process, we were able to look at it and say, is this the right deliverable? Is this the right asset for this inside of our system? How long should this take? What do we need to do to shorten that? Are we doubling up work? All of it. And I think that was really key. But we met and talked about it incessantly. It was a lot.
We still do.
We still
come up with ideas of, hey, if it could do this, then we'd be a little bit more efficient. Mm-hmm. For example, we were manually inputting go live dates for different parts of the process, right, and talked with Asa and said, hey, how can we do that from the steps that they're normally doing in TaskRay? How can we make that automatically say what that date is? And we were able to do that. So we still do that. We still meet every other week to talk about what it is and what else we might want to do with it.
Yeah.
So.
And that's a great thing, to have to think about something totally end-to-end, truly end-to-end, and to have a tool that almost forces you to do that in the best way possible.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a lot of positive impact. What are some other ways your day-to-day has changed because of TaskRay now that you're on the other side?
Oh man, it's.
You're smiling for once.
I mean, it's one. I'm continuously saying I won't work for this company any longer if we were to ever get rid of TaskRay, because it's changed my life. And it's I'm here for the app talks, and I feel like this seems paid and staged, but it is true. Because the level of predictability and insight that I have as a result of utilizing TaskRay in my day-to-day workflow in terms of what my team capacity needs to be, what sort of challenges we're facing from a technical standpoint, or even understanding simply what the clients have purchased and whether or not we're delivering as expected on that, is all kind of new. I mean, I had an instinctual sort of, I know this is about this, or I think that we're doing well here, but maybe not so well here. And now I have quantifiable data that shows me whether we are or are not. It's funny because as we were coming here this morning, I received from one of our clients their marketing calendar for the next 7 months. And I plotted in every project I have for them scheduled out in advance all the way through the end of July or something like that, which is not something I could do before. And I literally know the capacity that I need for the next 6 months for my team in order to execute on their list of projects. So that kind of stuff is really the biggest gain that we've had, I would say.
I would add on to that too, from a controls perspective, because it's built into Salesforce and we have that much more control over the business process. We're able to make sure that we're not working on projects that we shouldn't work on.
Right.
I mean, they'll tell you that before TaskRay, we would just work on a project whether we should have or not. There were things that there were things that we did for our clients sometimes that were maybe marginally useful for the clients that took us a ton of effort because we never bothered to stop and ask, should we be doing this? Is it the right thing to do for the client? And also, is it the right thing to do for us?
Right.
So being able to build the business process into how we use TaskRay let us really make that decision ahead of time. Is this a project that we want to do? Yes, and then go ahead and do it. So we've been able to save a ton of time for their team's capacity. We haven't had to hire as many people as we thought we might have to hire. We've been able to do more projects and do more work with the same number of people. So it's made us a more efficient organization on the whole.
No question.
I think it's de-stressed a lot of things that happen during implementations as well.
With other tools.
Yeah.
with and even internally, because an implementation takes so many different teams, and it would get a little stressful because maybe we forgot that they had purchased one thing and that just didn't get implemented quickly enough. Now we can see that, and we track like delay reasons for different areas. And so we can know early on, we're delayed for this reason, and keep that using the chatter and things like that. Keep everybody informed much better than a ton of Slack messages or emails going out, and you might forget somebody because it's automatically going to the team that's on that project. So it just makes it a whole lot easier, and everybody's aware, and nobody's stressing out at the very end that there's still some things to do that got missed. So
I would say we're a lot more predictable in our delivery dates as well, and understanding that, if there's issues, say with contract signature, we can't start until a certain time because of like client dependencies. We have all of that mapped out with automated processes in TaskRay that just give us dates. And so we know literally from the day that we start the work till the day that we finish the work what the calendar will look like for that client. And then when we're having those client interactions, we can say it'll be the 9th or whatever day it is, and actually deliver on that. Whereas before, it'd be more of a ballpark. Like somewhere in this week, or maybe the week after, like we're hoping. But now right now we're on track 4. And even when we're signing new clients and we're able to plan and predict, since her team and my team really work together in terms of a handoff, TaskRay has just eliminated a lot of the barriers that were in that handoff process, from the technical to the more creative and campaign launch side. And that was a huge part of us gaining efficiencies and onboarding and just our processes in general, for sure.
It sounds like it built a confidence muscle.
Yeah.
it did.
In
Yes.
Yeah.
everything start to finish that's client facing, which is really important. So not an exaggeration to say that post TaskRay implementation, you run your business in a totally different way.
Yes, totally different way.
And we've been able to take times down from, an average of over 100 days to our most recent ones have been in under 50.
Wow.
For full implementation.
Over half, wow.
Because we've got it all set. We've got all the checks and balances in place to make it go smoothly. So it's been great.
And even, I think, an auxiliary thing is that we're able to come to each other with questions a lot easier too, because we have the full scope of knowledge of what's happening in terms of the other moving parts that make it all happen. And that's not just for implementations, that's for any project that we have, ongoing and recurring. And, if we have a client that's, for example, like using services that they've purchased, we're able to evenly track, okay, they have 5 or 6 left. We can let them know ahead of time and talk about that conversation with them as we're either working on a renewal or potential to buy more services as they're running out, or whatever their individual client needs are. We have that visibility as we're able to do the technical work too, which is a huge piece of it for our client success team, that they're able to really have a view of how is the client using our platform, what are they using in terms of what they've purchased versus what they still have outstanding. And it allows them to taper their conversations in a way they didn't before.